have been exploring a question about a big decision that I have coming up and decided to pull some cards using Abiola Abrams' African Goddess Rising Pocket Oracle and the Lowcountry Gullah Tarot deck. Love this deck, by the way. So I've been sitting with these cards and thought it would be helpful to just kind of talk it out. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so I use the Oracle to pull the central message using the Council of Elders spread from the African Goddess Rising booklet. It's a 5-card spread that goes in the circle of a spiral, and it's really beautiful. So I used the entire deck for it, and I took some notes, so give me a second. And I like how it's a map of communication from the elders. So I decided to go with the Lowcountry Gullah Tarot because it seems to have, well, one, it wanted me to use the deck, and two, the voice that it's a very wise, masculine energy that comes through. And so that's the deck that I decided to work with. I am going to do a interview spread with this deck because it has a lot to say. So the first card, and I should have made my space a little more neater. Hold on, let me see. Yay, okay. I made a little more space. I've got like way too much stuff up here. The first was Mami Wada, Naked. And this is usually about like being emotionally vulnerable. But what stood out to me was this snake that's wrapped around her. And it's like being caught up in something that makes me feel vulnerable and unsafe. And with Death as the clarifier, there's a change that is happening. So I feel like it is a big yes that moving forward would be a really good decision for me. Because there is a sudden change happening, which is what this card represents. And I just love this Death card. It's one of the most prolific and profound ones that I have seen in a while. It's so just truly powerful. Okay, I thought I saw somebody sitting up there. That might be the clouds, but it still to me looks like a person. So card 1 is like, what is present for me at the moment? And this is really spot on. I do feel unprotected. I feel like I'm in a vulnerable situation and I'm ready for a change. A lot of majors came out, so I'm really excited and just seeing exactly what's there for me. For position 2, what are my biggest obstacles? I got Sukuyant, Scarcity, and Tanit, Pleasure. So the biggest obstacles are scarcity and pleasure. So that's really interesting. I would say that the pleasure being an obstacle, I'm not really enjoying where I'm at anymore. It is, yeah, it's not giving what I thought it would give. Scarcity, I would say like the apprehension, I won't use the word fear, but I'll say the apprehension of moving forward and figuring out what is next, and also being concerned, like, if I make that move, will there be enough? Things have shifted to where it does feel like there's not a lot of, things aren't flowing the same way they were flowing before. So the biggest obstacle is that I'm not feeling in my Empress energy, being supported, being in abundant spaces, being able to be creative and having a harmonious environment. which these two cards, right, very much are of the Empress, except she's usually operating in abundance. So not being able to have that creative expression or that freedom or feeling that I'm in an expansive space is absolutely a block. It's not somewhere where I feel like I am able to really thrive and grow, which is what I'm all about. So yeah, so that's really like, this is really spot on. It's so amazing. So 3 is, what must I release? So the card that I pulled was Mame Kumba Bang, and that talks about speaking up. But what I get from this, with all of the fists and the figures behind her, it's, I think, releasing that I feel that I cannot speak up, or that, you know, I have to stay in a space where I no longer feel supported. So this is all about expression, expressing yourself, and it also, you know, resonates with the throat chakra. And so when I look at this, the 2 cards that came out were 9 of Swords and the World, as far as releasing. The 9 of Swords is about, usually, like, it's the card of nightmares, right? Overthinking, anxiety, feeling trapped, hopelessness, that type of energy. And it also speaks of being at a breaking point, which I thought was really, really interesting. And so with the World, I feel like it's time to release everything, to release the thoughts that I'm having around things, to really voice what it is that I am feeling, and to not be afraid, because it is time to let things go. And I love all of the energies that are here. Oh, I think one of these cards, nope, sorry. So the 9 of Swords goes with something else, but that still kind of worked out with that. Because with Mame Kumba Bang and speaking up in the World, still I feel like it's time to release everything, to know that I am supported, and not to feel that I am alone or have to be in spaces where I do not feel safe expressing myself or getting my needs met. So again, with the World, it's like, release everything, let it all go. Speak up, show up for yourself, because you are fully supported, and it's okay to express yourself in these situations. So very beautiful. So now with card 4, what support do I need? Apparently a lot, because 3 cards came out. And Nana Buluku came up with seasons. And this is very powerful, because this card is all about cycles. And she's actually a guardian, which is one of the 2 guardian cards in the deck. But this is like the creator energy right here. So it's like having all the support that I need, and knowing that I am truly supported no matter what season of life or what stage of life that I might be in, or where I am in a decision cycle. So seeing that was really refreshing, and just knowing that everything has its time, and it's okay if what you thought was going to work out is no longer working out, because everything has its season. And some seasons just happen to move quicker. So that's that. So the support, we have the Chariot, all about moving forward, right? Having the focus, the drive, the will, the determination to move forward. And the Chariot, again, that's moving energy. Same with the World card. And then we have the Page of Wands, like that open-minded, that playful, curious energy. And then we have Temperance, balancing everything out, which I think is really beautiful. So it's like moving forward, being curious enough to go, because the Page of Wands is like an explorer energy. So again, we have a lot of movement, and just trusting that everything is going to come together and be balanced out with Temperance. So card 5 is, what next steps should I take? And so that is Mojaji. the Rain Queen, the Rain Goddess, all about manifestation. So this is about going for what you want. And this is the card that had the 9 of Swords on it. So it's like there's a bit of apprehension or fear around going for what I want, creating the space that I want. So this absolutely needs to be cleared up. And I think once I speak on it, that will help release some of the things that I'm thinking and feeling around this particular change. But with this card here, I feel like it's good. Like the next step is really just to claim what I want, to take the actions and have the faith and the belief that what I want, what I desire is there and also looking for me. So I think that it's safe for me to release this. And honestly, I don't feel a lot of fear and anxiety around it. The breaking point, I think, is definitely where I am at, and just kind of not knowing fully what's next, but also with manifestation here, knowing that I have the ability to create what is next for me in this journey. So overall, I feel like it's time for a change. And if I don't make the change myself, I feel like it's going to be pushed, because there's a lot of movement here with the Chariot, with the World, even with Temperance. There's that alchemizing of the different pieces and pulling things together. The Empress is here. The Empress is not one to sit in spaces that are not abundant, that are not harmonious, that are not in alignment. And that's not something that I am choosing or to accept or do in my own life either. There is a transformation that is happening, and I can feel it, especially right now during Scorpio season. So I'm excited. And actually, let me clarify. Yep, the 9 of Swords with the 9 of Wands. I'm tired. Like, I'm over it. Those 2 cards right there, it's like I'm over it. I've done all that I can do. Now it's time for me to create something else. And it looks like everything will be all good with the 6 of Cups. I will find a space that is supportive and nurturing, that has room for me to grow. So, okay, I like it. I'm glad I talked this out. Very, very powerful cards. African Goddess Rising Oracle is definitely one of my favorites. I have the original deck. That one is on my altar being worked. So I gathered this pocket oracle so that I could take it with me, and that really seems to work for me. This is my first time reading with this particular deck. It's gorgeous. I just did a review of it, and I'm going to do an interview spread with it, because I find this deck has an actual voice for me. There's someone that's communicating with me through this deck, and I'd love to find out who it is. It feels like maybe a male spirit guide or even male ancestor, with the we are in ancestor season, and there's just this it's an elder, wise elder voice that I'm hearing, and it's so funny. I was going to cleanse the deck, and I was reaching for my Palo, and they was like, no, honey, we use sound. And it's like a very country voice. And I'm like, okay. So I took out my sound bowl, and that's what I used to clear the deck. So very beautiful. This is the Lowcountry Gullah Tarot deck created by Street Priestess Tarot over on Etsy. I don't know if they're on Instagram. I'm going to check and see, because I would love to, see if they do other things with, tarot. Their shop has a lot of amazing Black African-American tarot and oracle decks. Yes, they're all in my wish list. Because I really appreciate having cards like these. I was choosing between the African American tarot and then this deck, but this is the one that drew me in. So that's what I went with. I'm trying to be mindful about my deck collecting habits. My collection continues to grow, but I do put them to good use and do plan on creating space for readings and things like that for others as well, because I truly miss doing it. And it's time. It's time for me to really be the spiritual healer, spiritual teacher, and guide that I am here to be. So thank you so much for tuning in. I might do more of this. It helps me to like think things through and talk things out. But this was a very powerful reading. So I know that I'm on the right track. I know that it is time for me to move forward and that whatever is on the other side of this is going to be beautiful. All right. Thanks for watching. Head over to, well, check out the description. All my details are there, where to find me, things that I have available, all that good stuff.